Welcome on in. It is time for Three Guys Before the Game. And there's actually three guys. Oh, my. Like, I've lost such track of how often Hoppy's been on the show recently that I didn't realize he only missed one episode since the last time we were on.
It's good to be back.
Is that right? Yeah, he was on for Coach Stevenson. That was 5:32. This is 5:34. WVU Hoops Comeback Calamity. So he was actually here 2 episodes ago.
What I like about it now is you have no idea if he's even coming on or not. He just showed up today, wrote himself in the lineup card, and was here. I kind of like it.
He did write himself in. Brad and I were all ready to go. He walked in and said, "Hey, man, I'm here. Can I come on?"
After a short debate, short discussion, out of my earshot, you guys, it was a 1-1 vote.
And you were the tie-breaking vote instead of coming on.
All right, let him come in. All right, fine.
All right.
Hoppy's here. And here we go. Three Guys Before the Game, brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. Premier in their profession of helping businesses maintain their data so that it is safe, so that it is less likely that it will be attacked and your personal information, your client information could be taken away onto the, shall I say, dark web.
Oh, scary out there.
Don't want it. Comax will come in and do a free computer colonoscopy for you and come back to you and say, here's the situation, where you're good, where you're bad, and how you fix it. They also have great business equipment, including digital phone systems, competitively priced from 1 to 1,000 lines. Do so much. Comax Business all over the state of West Virginia and beyond. Been doing it for nearly 30 years. Visit comaxwv.com. Three Guys brought to us by GoMart. Go for good times. Go for GoMart. Get that rewards card and save on your fuel and on your food, and it is just special. They're ubiquitous. GoMarts are all over.
Yep. What?
Yeah, ubiquitous. Besides being ubiquitous, there's a lot of them.
Thank you.
Spreads on Stats coming up, brought to us by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond the numbers. And later on in Textual Healing, some information on Wendell Marine sales in St. Albans. Oftentimes we've been talking about the folks there and saying we've had some unconfirmed reports about the James Bond Association relationship.
Unconfirmed.
Might not be unconfirmed anymore.
What now?
May not be unconfirmed anymore. We'll get into that. Since you've been gone, we had a great conversation with Lou Wendell's folks.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
Learned a lot.
About a half hour on the phone with them.
Really?
Yeah. You know what we came away with?
Not just those beautiful pontoons, although that's a big part of it. Tri-tunes. Not just that. A lot more.
Such as?
Well, 40 plus years in the business, and like they don't just sell the boats, they love the boat. Everyone there got a boat.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good.
They're boaters.
They
don't just have a boat. They're boaters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like,
big difference.
yeah, exactly. So we'll talk about Lou Wendell coming up in a little bit. All right.
Sonar. Fish finders.
They have a fish finder on it?
Mm-hmm.
GPS.
That's good. In-dash fish finder.
Live
good.
cam to see the water conditions.
Oh, man.
And as I've been telling you, those
when do we get ours? Like, shouldn't we get a comp one? I mean,
We didn't need to get one rapid.
I don't think they.
no, a comp one. Just.
Well, I don't know if they give a boat.
Yeah, that's wrapped with 3 guys. Take
I see.
Take that right out on Cheat Lake. Do the show from out on Cheat Lake.
Well, here's the thing: if you're going to go get one, Hoppy's first tongue click. If you're going to get one, do it quickly.
Because?
Well, thank you. One of the things that we learned when we were chatting with Mike over there was that the selection of pontoons right now is at its peak. They don't make those things like we make ice cream cones.
Or like Rusty makes our coffee.
Like Rusty makes
because
our
the way
coffee.
that's selling, Hoppy, someday you go over and they're sold out, right?
Right.
He just goes in the
You
back,
gotta
he
get
makes
some
more,
more,
puts more out. Fair?
Well, yeah, I went over to Rusty's this morning, take the edge off.
Sold out?
Didn't have any up on the wall. I can't keep it on the doggone shelves.
Can't keep it.
Anyway, so the pontoon deal, Hoppy, is it takes about 6 months once you order one to get one.
So it's like our beer.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, the beer.
But the point is, if you're going to buy a pontoon,
they're still making tri-tunes. You can still get one of the pontoons.
You can get one. The point is, now is the time.
Yeah.
The area is filled with their pontoons for this season, so go and get. And now
Don't wait
the time.
till June, right?
You wait till
Because
June.
you got good selection right now.
Selection
is what we're
at
trying
its-
to say.
yeah.
Good selections there now.
It's time to harvest your pontoon, is what I'm saying. The fruit is ready to be picked at Lou Wendell. More on that coming up in just a little bit. All right. Since the last time we convened, West Virginia played at Iowa State, and they played at Kansas State last night. WVU goes to overtime in what will go down as the most difficult to digest loss so far, and hopefully the most difficult to digest loss for the rest of this season. Heartbreaking fashion, West Virginia trailed by as many as 25 points in the second half with 13:39 to go. Furious rally by the Mountaineers. They are unable to finish after taking the lead, and we will dissect that game coming up. Mountaineers are now off until Saturday, and Texas Tech and TCU are the last two home games. Cincinnati to close the regular season a week from Saturday, and then it's tournament time for the Mountaineers. WV's women's team in action this evening. We tape on Tuesday afternoon. They take on Oklahoma State in Stillwater. They'll try to bounce back from their heartbreak.
Gut punch loss for the women.
You know, you take the Baylor loss for the women, and you take last night's loss for the WVU men, and there are times when you have a thought that goes through your mind that goes like, why am I even, why do I invest? Why do I put myself through this?
Thank goodness for the rifle team.
Can I just go like make sugar cookies?
Won another title.
Yeah.
Gark. And when the Gark
16th conference title.
lined up, shot them.
Nationals coming up.
Yeah.
March 9th through 10 here at the Coliseum.
Hosting. Do you have John on?
Did have John on last night, Sportsline.
Oh, good.
It was great.
Had him on my public affairs program.
you know,
too.
Oh, you did too?
Yeah.
What do you do? Mostly sports or
Well,
news on
he listened to Sportsline, then had him on.
Oh, sloppy seconds for you, huh, Hoppy?
Stole the guest idea.
Interesting. No boy couldn't get him first. Interesting.
He and Stratford love talking to those guys.
Yeah.
Because of the
I
accent?
don't know if it's the accent. They just answer questions tremendously well.
They answer questions.
The accent's very nice.
No, they answer questions.
Speak well. They answer. They address. They're just.
Yeah.
They're,
Wait a second. What do you mean
really
by
good.
that? They answer questions.
They don't like we have to watch the film. You don't get that. They tend to be more candid sometimes than coaches of teams that are higher profile. However, I have to say, I think that the two coaches that are high profile now in West, the three coaches, are very, very candid.
I was just
as
saying,
coaches go.
Might be in the golden age of
Yes.
interviewees for coaches right now.
Agreed.
Neil.
Agreed.
Josh. Mark Kellogg. Yeah, I agree.
Of those three,
And then start adding in everybody. Nikki, Strats, Ham, and they just go right on the list.
Well, I
Got a
think
good crew right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think what you're enjoying, Hoppy, is the fact that when you have a John Hammond on or Dan Stratford, who you hired, I think you enjoy their candor because, if I'm not mistaken, are you going down to Charleston of late, and you're asking questions to politicians, and you're probably hoping to get clean, clear answers, and you don't get that, and so when you come into the sports world, you go like, "Oh, this is so refreshing." Could that be the case?
It might be. That might contribute to it. I just think that there are. Look, I'm always on the lookout for stories. Okay, I don't care if they're sport. I don't break it down to say sports or news. I mean, stories are stories are stories.
Right.
What's happening with the rifle team now is a story. I mean, winning the conference, playing competing for the national championship, having the NCAA tournament in Morgantown. That's a story.
Yeah. Oh, I don't disagree with you.
Two quick notes on women's basketball before we move on, because one of them relates to Mark Kellogg. Two quick shout-outs. I said this on Sportsline last night, so at the risk of repeating myself, if you listened to Sportsline last night, a lot of credit to Mark Kellogg first and foremost. That game ends. That's a tough loss.
Yeah.
Coaches a lot of times head straight to the locker room. He did not. Went straight over the tunnel. A bunch of little kids gathered. He stopped and signed autographs. He was the last one to leave the floor. Went over, signed a bunch of autographs. I like that.
That's strong.
That's good awareness of the situation and what you're trying to build, even though in that moment that had to be extremely difficult to do. And even more so than that, a lot of credit to J.J. Quinerly.
I was going to say it.
She had a very difficult last possession, Hop, on the heels of a career-high scoring game. She had a wonderful game. And an uncharacteristic mistake at the end of the game cost West Virginia the game. Guess who was out in the interview session and sat there, even though she was still emotional, sat there and answered questions?
Yeah, that's a lot of props for that.
We see athletes all the time duck that interview session. And they're out the back door. And listen, to an extent, I get it. But at times, you got to step up when you're the leader and you got to answer the question. And she did. That's a lot of credit to her for doing that. Tremendous job.
Yeah, I couldn't say that any better. She doing that is not her comfort zone. Her comfort zone is playing the game. Mm-hmm. And for her to do that and to go through all of that, that was the win of the day. She'll win more basketball games. She'll win a lot more basketball games. But her ability to do that, just saying, going through life, stand up when things don't necessarily go your way and own it. Whew. That was really, really good.
Yeah, agreed.
So we wish those guys the very best coming up. All right. Where shall we begin to dissect this frog?
Well,
what are we doing? Last night first?
Hoppy's obvious observations.
Well, I'll start with a confession.
We're not priests.
Well, there might be one listening.
Early second half, in a moment of frustration, I went to the series my wife and I were watching, True Detective, and turned the game off. And then, after True Detective, that episode was over, I checked my phone and said, "What?" Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. So
you were shocked, huh?
Quickly texted Brad, "What's been happening?" Got to get an update. And, and turned it back on. A couple of things. One is that in college, in pros, I mean, sometimes they can get it back. In college, when you're down 25 with 12, 13 minutes to go, Brad, that game is over. That is, in a team that has a losing record, you do not see a team come back from that. You just don't.
I think that's part of it. I think given where we are in the season here with just a couple of games left for a team that has struggled this season to stay in and fight, that showed me a lot. I know, listen, we'll get the tweets and the texts. It's wins or loss. I understand that. Yeah. But that showed me a little something at this point in the season that group was still engaged enough to get itself back into a game.
Absolutely.
With a massive lead. I mean, they weren't down 12.
25.
Down 25.
I had to go back and look. Would that have been the biggest comeback on the road? I know that Villanova, Jerry West in Philly, they came back from a crazy number down. I'll try to check that here. Might have been 25-26 at Nova. Second half came back.
I mean, that was almost like the WVU Louisville football game, with the things over.
Yeah, I said on your show today, you asked me about that, what that meant.
Yeah.
So you were on his show today?
I was, yeah. I was. Thanks for the invite.
Interesting.
I hadn't been on since November.
Well,
so it was nice of him to invite me back.
Either is he. Yeah.
The way I said it, Tony, see if you agree or disagree with this. I don't know what it means for the final couple of games here in the first round of the Big 12 tournament. Don't know. But what it showed me, again, it reinforced what we had thought from the beginning, that there's some individual talent on this team, that given the chance to play together in a normal situation, who knows what you would have done, but it would have been better than the 9 wins you have now. I feel comfortable saying that.
Correct.
And given where this team started, how far behind the 8 ball it began, then add in the Kerr Kriisa suspension, then add in the Raekwon craziness, then add in Jesse Edwards getting suspended. This team never had a chance.
Jesse Edwards getting hurt,
never had a chance from the beginning. Last night was another one of those examples, even in a loss, you would have been in a better spot than what you are now, had this group had a chance to work from the very beginning together. So it almost made me one of those like, dang it. Dang it that you didn't get to see this group together.
It really is it's like brings into focus or clarifies or is illustrative, Tony, of this season, isn't it? I mean, that's just like what it's been.
Mm-hmm. It's a microcosm.
Yeah. I mean, what were you thinking as you're probably as you started to call that comeback and you thought, this thing?
Well, I knew that they had been challenged during halftime, so I was interested to see what their response was going to be. And if you remember, the response was strong. Kriisa hits the 3 from out front. They get another one, and less than a minute in, K-State takes a timeout, going like, guys, we're not doing this. And I just give them a tremendous amount of credit. So how were they able to come back? Well, it comes to that old, wonderful adage. They made shots.
Yeah.
They shoot 33% in the opening half. You come out in the second half, both Krisa and Raekwon battle, get smoking hot, and you make shots and you've got a chance. And so to me, I would just wanted to, so it was so big, it was 25. I wanted to see just the whittle down factor. Can you get it down to single digits? Once you get it down to single digits, it's three possessions. Yeah. Then you go, okay, now I want to see their, the sphincter gets tightened over on the other sideline.
Yes.
And they did. And it got real tight. And we'll break it down into the specifics of it. I know everyone wants to talk about fouls or lack thereof. We'll get into all of that coming up on Spreads on Stats. But I was, again, to your point, we'll never know what this team could have, would have been. This will go down in Mountaineer fandom into a category of what would have happened if Major Harris didn't get hurt, what would have happened if the basketball team actually had the roster that it was supposed to have. It's into that, and there's probably several of those other ones that you always are going to wonder about. What ifs?
And I think it goes into the category, there's only been a few of these, but it goes in the category of the asbestos year in the Coliseum of most weirdness happening around a basketball season.
Sure.
Right? That team, you knew at some point the constant travel of every game was going to wear them down. And this team, you knew from the very beginning that the original challenge was so difficult, it didn't need any more on top of that, and it kept getting more challenges thrown in front of it, more roadblocks.
And I think that comeback in the second half, it speaks for itself, but also coming off the second game of a road trip after you just played a tough Iowa State game where they're in your grill the whole game. Tony, that's a tough road trip. I mean, you were there. Yeah. That's a tough draw.
And again, I came back from the Iowa State game, and, this is what, year 12 that we've been in this league, and their fans are just super good.
Yeah.
They're super good fans. They're Mountaineer fan-esque, and they do things almost like in an organized, structured manner. When that thing got tight, they all stand together. Like, I don't know, because I don't look behind me. Like in Mountaineer games, if it's like super tight, does like the whole place stand up?
There's games when they all get up.
Okay,
yeah.
But this is almost like it's choreographed. Like it's just like everyone like everyone stands like all together at the same time, and it's as good of an environment as you'll see. It's akin to Allen Fieldhouse. It's akin to the Coliseum when the Coliseum is really rocking and really good. It's right there, but they're really, really good fans. That energy kicked those guys over the top on that one.
Yeah, and it caused, West Virginia had one of their worst days in turnovers, 23, and did clean that up against K-State. So
yeah, like 4X did. They had 6 turnovers in 45 minutes. Are you freaking kidding me? How do you do that? How do you go from 23 to 6? Again, these are the questions that just kind of continue to pop up.
One thing is, I would say that you did clean it up, but also that Iowa State defense, Brad, they get after you, man.
That's part of it.
It's elite.
To be fair, it was a top 5 turnover defense nationally in Iowa State, and it's a bottom 25 defense in terms of forcing turnovers in Kansas State. So that's part of it. Although the credit comes, and I'll get into more on this on Spreads on Stats, Kansas State here took advantage of you with turnovers.
Yeah, yes.
But they're 348 nationally in forcing it. So that's the other frustrating part is that was a huge piece of the game is you had to control turnovers, and West Virginia did and still couldn't get the win.
And K-State made those free throws down the stretch. Those were big.
West Virginia took 18 more shots. Mm-hmm. West Virginia took 18
they didn't
more
turn it over.
Yeah. So we're sitting there on Saturday going, you're getting so many more shots against you, you got no chance to win. Well, here's a case where you got 18 more, but you shot it so poorly in the first half at 33%. You couldn't overcome that. Where they shot, K-State second half, they shot 33% after shooting 50% in the first half. What's the difference? K-State made 6 more field goals in the first half when they were hot, including 9 more threes.
No, don't worry, we're getting heavily into that in Spreads on Stats. That's coming.
You ready to do it?
Yeah, go. Let's get in there now.
Might as well go do it right now, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, let's go do it right now.
So I checked the numbers. We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes the heater.
Let's jump into the analytics portion of the show.
Ready? 5, 4.
Spreads on Stats, brought to us by the Conley CPA Group, based in Fairmont, but really They're based all over the state of West Virginia and surrounding states. It's peak season, not only as we get ready for March Madness and college basketball, but also for accountants. This is their tournament time. This is when they advance and move forward and getting your taxes done.
Are they worried? Are they worried?
No. They want the ball.
They want the ball?
Like down to 3 seconds to go, they go like, we got it, give me the ball. I'll take care of it.
Give me the W-2s. Give me the W-2s right now.
I got your 1099
right here.
Oh, yeah, you got a K1. Bring that K1 over here. I'll scold you. Conley CPA Group. Whether you need a tax consultancy, auditing, shepherding. I like shepherding. They'll help you and give you great insight and information as to how best approach your business's tax liabilities and how you can be as efficient as possible. Conley CPA Group. All right, doctor, do the autopsy.
Start K-State first. Couple big keys, Hoppy, that we mentioned from the preview show. First and foremost, you had to cut off the rim. Okay? Cut off the rim from K-State. They were 19 of 21 in the first meeting at the rim. Shots at the rim, 19 of 21. No wonder you lost the first one. Had to cut off the rim and force them to shoot some threes. I'll get back to that in a minute. 19 of 21 in the first meeting. Just 9 of 20 last night at the rim. Very good. Did exactly what you had to do. That's a winning formula against that team. K-State had just 26% of their points in the paint last night. They had been averaging 45% of its points over the last 5 games. Did exactly what you wanted to do. Keep them away from the rim, out of the paint, make them shoot threes. Here's why. Coming into the game, Hoppy, we said they love to shoot threes. 82nd at the time. They were top 75 in the country in three-point attempt rate. Love to shoot it. But they didn't make many. They were a bottom 40, bottom 60 team coming into the game in three-point percentage. So cut that rim off, cut the paint off, make them go outside. And we said if they can make threes on you, you tip your cap. Because they do not shoot the three well, even though they like it. And lo and behold, a first half that was better than any half of basketball that program has had in 10 years. And I'm not exaggerating that. Best half of basketball in 10 years in terms of made three-pointers. Are you freaking kidding me? They lined up, made 58% of their threes in the first half
made
for
11.
A team that can't make threes?
Yeah. School records. The school record is 16 that West Virginia has allowed in a game. 5 times, including this year against Pitt.
We're shooting 31% from 3 at home.
I know.
Made 58% in the first half. Did I say that?
Well aware. I watched them.
I mean, that's just, Brad, that's just, you go in, you do what you're supposed to do based on what they are.
You did exactly what you wanted to do.
You know, they just get fluky and start throwing stuff up and it goes in.
They even took more threes than usual. 53% of their shots were threes. I mean, that's a winning game plan. If you had just given me those numbers before the game, I would have said West Virginia wins the game.
Right.
That's exactly what you wanted to do. That's what makes that frustrated. You asked me the question in the macro. The micro is you did exactly what you wanted. Yeah. You fixed what hurt you last time, forced them to do something that they're not good at, and they ended up being good at it last night.
It's
for a half. But in the second half, water found its level. Right. 3 of 12 in the second half from 3.
But it's like it's like in football when you say, we're going to stop the run if they can beat you passing and tip your hat. And sometimes it happens. And that's what happened.
They were 6 of 10 from 3 just from the left corner.
Huh?
6 of 10 from the left corner from 3, Kansas State. West Virginia was 4 of 6. Something must have been going on in the left corner. 10 of 16 combined from the left baseline corner.
It's closer.
The left corner, 3.
It's closer.
That one hurt. Perry, 6 of 11 from 3 last night, 55%. He's a 32% shooter on the year. Dude, and that includes the boost that he got last night.
Forget about him. What about Day?
Yeah, he's next. 3 of 5. 60% shooter. He was 27% on the year.
Oh, I know.
That's one you just, what?
What are you going to do?
Did exactly what you wanted to do. It didn't come through. Let's talk turnovers for a second. Hoppy, I mentioned first game, 17-5 points off turnover advantage in the first meeting for a team that doesn't turn you over. So protect the ball. West Virginia did. Just 6 turnovers on the day, 20-11 points off turnover advantage for West Virginia, a nearly 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio for the Mountaineers. Right where you want to be. 57% assist percentage at the end of regulation when you came back and tied it. Tony, you've heard me say it many times. The mark for assist rate, 57, 58% or above, West Virginia generally wins the game. 57% at the end of regulation, couldn't bring it home.
That's
free throw rate, didn't quite get there. And we'll get to the officials in a second because I think you do need to talk about that. West Virginia has to be at 44% or higher on its free throw rate. It was just 34% on the free throw rate and then didn't shoot it well once you got to the line. Mm-hmm. You think Jesse hits one of those late, right, you probably win. He hits two of those, that thing's over. You win the game in regulation.
And K-State made theirs.
K-State made theirs on the other end. Yeah. Season high from points off dribble jumpers last night for West Virginia. They had 20 points off that. They'd had 23 points in the last 4 games combined off dribble jumpers. Guys were making shots.
20 last night?
Every way. Scored on guarded jumpers. You scored on unguarded jumpers. Did a great job. Most points off putbacks since UC game back on January 31st. Second most all season on putbacks off offensive rebounds. You had 17 total second chance points last night. Pretty good. Those are the big numbers.
Yeah.
Those are my big numbers. I mean, I got more. I just the 3-point shooting thing for them is what's really frustrating. You're right there. 58% from 3 in the first half. Stunner.
I mean, if you're Kansas State, you're looking at the game going, wow, we dodged one there. I mean, they win all their they win all their overtime games. Right, like 8-0 in overtime.
Historic.
7-0 this year, 12-0 in the last 2 years under Tang.
Yeah, totally historic.
But also, I mean, they know they're not a good 3-point shooting team, so he's going like, oh, geez. And then and then you're right, teams get tight when a team comes back from that much down. Then they goes to overtime like, uh-oh. So they dodged the bullet there too. I mean, they dodged the bullet. That would have been a historic loss for them.
Yes.
Had they lost that game. The K-State people today would be going, what in the world? You're up 25?
Yeah. And they were on a big slide. Now they've turned around and won 2 straight. Got BYU first and then able to hang on last night in that one. Tough one.
How about this one? And again, you can pull apart pieces, but check this one out. You're up 79-75, right?
Yeah.
62 seconds to go. They come down. Arthur Kaluma shoots an air ball 3.
Yep.
McNair, their center, weak side rebound, lays it up and in. Get the ball. You're up 4 inside of a minute now to go in the game. That makes it 79-77.
You get the rebound there. They probably got a foul,
Yeah.
That was such a bad shot and so badly off that it ends up into a good play.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a kid's basketball. That happened against my daughter's team this weekend. Kid shot a 3 so far out, had no business shooting a 3. It was so far off, it falls in the middle of the lane. Defense isn't even ready for it to fall there. Kid picks it up, lays it in. That's what that shot was last night, Dennis.
Assist.
Yeah, turns into a good play and assist.
Free throw shooting. You just didn't make enough. You had your chance. 24 seconds to go. West Virginia up 2. You go to the line for 2. You make 1, you're up 3. That's a possession. You make 2, you got a hell of a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And you came up empty with both of those free throws. They come back down. Tyler Perry, who's a 90% free throw shooter, knocks him down. Then you had the whole situation with Krisa going up for the 3. Massive contact. He gets knocked down. Nothing.
Foul. It was a foul. They didn't call the foul. That's exactly what you do as the offensive player, is to get your defender up in the air and out of position, and the defender was rewarded for being out of position and initiating the contact. And I'm sure the explanation was they're going to say Kerr went into him. It's been called that way for 50 years. That's a foul. The defender was not straight up. The defender was leaping forward into Kerr. That's a foul. That is a missed call. And listen, I know, because we're going to get them, right? Yeah. Complaining, whining about the officials. Here's my stance on this, guys, and I'm going to say it again. You can talk about the officiating in an adult and logical manner, especially at the major college level. Right? I'm not for the berating of the officials. The screaming at the officials happens at all levels of sports. See it in youth basketball, see it in middle school, see it in high school.
Last night in the Knicks-Pistons game.
I don't condone that. That's a hard job to officiate. At the same time, it is ridiculous to say, well, you can't talk about it. Just should have made more. Yeah, you should have made more free throws if you're West Virginia. Yep. Should have made another 3. Yep. Should have guarded one more 3 in the first half, maybe. Yep. All true. You know what's also true? That's a foul. That's also true. You can't have a conversation about this game and not discuss that play. The defender's leaping forward, made contact. You can't have a no call on that. You just can't.
Well,
Raekwon Battle going to the basket and going up and getting absolutely clubbed. You can't just say, well, shouldn't have made a shot. There was contact that affected the shot. How's that not called? And why can't I say that should be called without being said you're whining about the officials?
Well,
there's a lot of reasons why you lose games, Hoppy. Sometimes it's because of missed calls.
Well, I think your point is well taken, because you're not sitting there saying, the officials cost him the game. You're saying that was a part of the game that is worthy of discussion.
Sure is.
Which
it
different
is.
and
It's
valid.
not. It's quite frankly, it's not debatable. That was a factor in the game, along with other factors.
Right.
Along with Kansas State being great from 3 in the first half. Along with West Virginia not making enough free throws. Along with, add 2 more things in there. Those are 2 calls in particular that were not correct.
Yeah. A factor, not the factor, a factor.
A factor.
All of it can be true.
Yes,
Yeah, it can.
Yes.
All of it can be
And
true.
it is.
And it is true. All of it can be true, and it is true. And, Josh mentioned this during the post-game conversation. And that is, you're not going to get any call. West Virginia, we may have said this on the program, either we've said it on the program or we say it when we're not on the program. Like, West Virginia is not getting any benefit of the calls this season.
No.
Because interim coach and K-State on the bubble, and they're going to give. See, I lost my mind at the end of regulation when Jesse Edwards went up. Mm-hmm. And I think there should have been a foul call there as well. He got hatcheted. And, I asked someone who'd watched the tape, and it was foul. He goes, they could have. And I said, let me ask you a question. Would they have called that at 16:24 to go in the first half? And he went like, yeah. And I went, then call the frickin' foul. Going to call it, call it. But I agree with both of you, because I know I get criticism, and Evan in Iowa loves to jack me and say that I say West Virginia gets all the calls, and through the years, well, fact is West Virginia's taken more free throws than any other Big 12 school in the last 10 plus years. Okay, that's a fact. But I don't say that officials don't impact. They do. And last night, yes, they did. And last night, so did West Virginia, because despite the fact that there were missed calls, you still had the ball in your hand to win the game, and you didn't do it. You have to win the game. You have to do something. You have to step through and do something that gets you the win.
Okay, here's the other thing, though. Yeah, you do. And when you don't, we say, Jesse should have made a free throw or 2, right? We say Jesse Edwards should have made we say Raekwon would have been nice if he would have made that 3 at the end of the game. We say that. Do we say that the official should have made the call? Last night in the NBA game, did you see the finish in the Knicks game?
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Oh, when? I wouldn't even listen to
About
you.
a minute ago. Stunner.
Missed it.
You weren't paying attention.
And they said what after the game?
Said we screwed it up.
And it led to a Knicks win.
Yeah.
Part of the game.
Yeah.
Should the Knicks have just made a basket earlier in the game and you wouldn't have had that matter? Yeah. You can say both of those things.
I know. I don't disagree with you. That's part of the game. It always has been part of the game, always will be part of the game. You have to play through that. Despite that, you have to play through it. That's the only way.
But everybody does. Everybody does play through that. You don't always get the win. But nobody stops playing. Kerr didn't stop playing. Josh didn't pull the team off the floor and say, well, we're not playing now. Missed that. They do keep playing. But officials keep officiating through it, and they got to get it right too, man. They've got to make call. They've got to get it right as well. And they do a lot. I'm not saying every call is wrong. My point just remains, if it's a foul, it's a foul. Call the foul when it's a foul. That's it. That's it. Call it. I don't care if Josh is an interim. I don't care what the situation is. Call foul. Guy was up in the air. He was out of position. That's exactly what you're taught offensively. That's a textbook offensive play. I don't care the kerr was leaning. The defender was not coming straight up and down. If the defender's straight up and down and you dive into him, okay, fine. We can have that discussion. When the defender is moving forward and out of position, he can't be rewarded for that. He was out of position. All right, I'm done.
No, you're not.
No, I think it was well said.
I think we're in agreement. Don't
Yeah,
disagree.
There is a significant difference between, quote unquote, complaining about the officials, quote unquote, West Virginia never gets the calls, and saying here was a non-call that affected the game. A significant difference in that.
Do you ever get to the point where the NBA does the final 2-minute recap of the officiating and they'll issue a report? They'll say in the final 2 minutes of the game, this is what we had. We had this was missed, this was right, this was missed, this was right. You'll never get that, I don't think, in college basketball. But you should.
You think?
Yeah. But it moves too quickly. There's no uniformity. There's no NBA. They're all NBA officials.
Yeah.
And these guys worked last night. They could be anywhere tonight, different place. But you should have, I think from the fans' perspective, fans would like to know. Kip Kissinger did not make that call on the Creasa lean, not lean foul, right? He was adamant. It was right in front of me. He was adamant in his explanation to Josh as to why he did not call it.
What did he say?
I don't know.
Oh, but he
was adamant. He was like, this is why, because this. So like in their rule book, like I didn't call it because of this. Now, whether that's the accurate assessment and making that call properly, I don't know.
Yeah, and he can think that because he's in the moment. Of course he didn't call it, and of course he's got a justification for not calling it.
I'd like to know independently, though, like a supervisor of officials who isn't currently working for the Big 12 to come in and go like, no, the Gene Steratore. Like, I'd like to know the Gene Steratore, like, no, actually, that should have been because, he broke the plane of verticality. He leaned over into da-da-da-da-da-da. I'd like to hear an explanation.
It's called all the time like that.
I understand, but I think fans would love to learn from that and go like, this is why this isn't why this.
And listen, there's a larger thing at work, too. I mean, they need more officials, first of all. They need more guys so you're not tired and doing 1,000 games a season. That's part of it, too. But as you watch all the way down the different levels, and I get that's why leagues continue to not put officials out more out in front, because you're inviting more of the fringe lunatic behavior, quite frankly. I told you, I've been through this in youth basketball here in the last couple of months and watched at middle school basketball. People are absolutely outrageous what they do, behavior towards officials. That's not what this is. This is a different deal. So I get why people say, there's not enough officials, Hop. There's not enough officials. That's a crisis. Yeah. That's going to be a continuing crisis in youth sports. There's not enough officials, and it's because of the berating. So I understand that, and that's not what this is. This is what I'm trying to do is have a discussion about that part of the game dispassionately, just like we do about guys missing shots and what do the numbers tell you. Those things are all factors. Yeah. But I know there's a larger thing at play here where the behavior towards officials continues to get worse and worse each year, which is leading to a shortage, which is leading to guys being overworked throughout the season. There's no way these guys can't be tired, Tony.
They're tired.
There's no way they can't be
Everyone's
tired. And that
right
affects
now.
Performance. And you fix that by having more officials that you can mix in, and that's hard to find more officials because of the behavior of fans. I get it. I get how it's all interconnected. Done.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm done.
Pretty good rant, though.
Now I'm done.
I think we should do a cleansing breath, kind of like one of the meditation things. Yeah, do one of those. All right. When do you say we do this? Can we do this? Let's just do this. Time for Textual Healing, brought to us by episode800.com. That's our place where we offer you various merchandise from topics that have been germinated on this podcast over the last 6 years, including coffees, popcorns, apparel.
We should do
shaving creams.
No, not shaving creams. We should do Christmas ornament.
Probably a little early on that one.
Pretty good idea.
Thank you.
But
Tony just shoots from the hip and expects everybody to do it. I just made what I thought was a reasonable suggestion, and Tony just shot it down.
With a bunch of runway there to get that done. Now he'll make the same. He'll make the same suggestion around the 1st of December.
That's right.
We'll get an ornament, and then he'll take your credit. So mark the tape there, Austin, please.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So,
what are you doing? Have you lost track? Have you lost focus over there? I mean, you're tired too, right?
I mean, I'm just trying to get through the thing. I'm trying to figure stuff out on the fly. I mean, I don't know why I need to be attacked for a guy that comes in once every 6 shows. Brad and I may have had a little chemistry develop without you here, and all of a sudden, third wheel making a little sound over there. I mean, if you'd like to switch seats at any point, come in here and take this chair.
Abbott, Costello, and Mo.
Texter from last Friday. Last Friday was a big, huge cell phone outage across the country, right? Texter says it might be a good idea to revert back to one of these. The Kirchville party line, 3 longs, 2 shorts.
It was up and operating.
Yeah. They didn't have any cell problems there back in the days of party lines in West Virginia.
A tree branch fell on the line and out for 2 weeks. Other than that.
Yeah. Senator, Texter wants to know, why can't we do a T-shirt that says unconfirmed?
We should. On
episode 800. We could probably do that.
Yeah.
Just says unconfirmed.
Oh. Is that mine?
Yeah.
Where's yours?
Yeah. I got mine.
Oh.
Texter. Hey, fellas, I know this rumor about Lou Wendell supplying the James Bond franchise with pontoon boats has been unconfirmed for a long time, but I stumbled across this photo on the interwebs and thought I'd send it your way. Well, there it is. I don't know which film this is from, but it looks like Daniel Craig is James Bond sitting in an Avalon Tri-Toon model straight off the Lou Wendell lot. I'm not sure who the lady is.
She's tiny.
Anyway, let's consider this one confirmed. Derek in Oregon. So there you go. Can you put that back up again, Austin? There you go. So Bond in the pontoon from Lou Wendell. See, I knew that. And you kept saying unconfirmed all the time. I mean, you know that Lou Wendell's had a 39-year relationship with the Avalon folks. They make those up in Michigan, 100% manufactured in the United States. And right now they got that dandy. Could you put that special up? That Tri-Toon that they've got going on right now at Lou Wendell. There it is, man. Oh, that bad boy is a bad boy.
By Tri-Toon, you mean it has 3...
It's got 3 tunes.
3 pontoons. Right?
Correct. 3. We call tune in the business, Hoppy. We call those tunes, right? Brad, is that what you took from the conversation? He called them tunes.
That's beautiful.
Helps you stay on top of the water, Hop.
So the third one,
smoother ride, yeah.
You go above the water, and that one there is completely dynamic. Rated up to 12 people, up to 200 horsepower. You put 200 horsepower on that thing, you go 42 miles an hour. Put a 150 on that thing, you go 38 miles an hour. Pimped out. Here's my notes. Pimped out. Fuel tank built into the pontoon and the motor well. More centered inside pontoon. More fuel capacity. Got an in-dash fish finder, depth finder, GPS, stereo capability. I mean, basically, it is the cat's meow.
Yeah, that's...
as they say.
That's the Cadillac, small c.
So get in there while the supply is great. At Lou Wendell, if you go to their website, by the way, LouWendellMarineSales.com, you can take a look. They got a live camera of the river there, and they're going to start dropping the pontoons into the slips, which is kind of neat. Texter, can you revert back? Oh, boy. Whenever they say, can you revert back, that always turns out to be a problem. Can you revert back to your radio DJ days and take a song request at the end of the show? I want to hear Hoppy's song, but I cannot remember on which show it played.
For nearly 40 years, a man hosted a local radio talk show.
Oh, he means this?
A man in Morgantown,
There's no
West
intro.
Virginia.
You can't talk over
a man
it.
named Hoppy. This is all very peculiar for me. The mansion whisperer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got a story about me? Yeah, what's up with I can't believe it.
So JD from the Southern Coalfield says, I'd like to hear this song, but I can't remember. And he says, the request goes like this. Hey, this one goes out to Hoppy, a special someone that I used to listen to regularly, but is missing in action of late. Hoppy, come on back. Got a good beat to it.
It does.
Yeah. Hoppy Kirchville. I like it.
I haven't heard that in a while.
This should be your music on Talkline.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I don't know why, but
By the way, David Saab produced this. He produced Textual Healing. He produced Spreads on Stats. I texted him today and I said, hey, dude, can you send me a copy of Hoppy's song? He comes back with, I'm sorry, who is this? I don't have this number in my
what?
In my contacts. He was being serious.
He was?
Yeah, so I blew him up pretty good. Fine.
Oh, I got something for you when you have time. Just remembered.
Tell us when the show's over. All right, here's the next one. Pat from Wheeling.
Hello!
My granddaughter was participating in a social studies fair, and I ran across this poster in a local elementary school. It made me think of you four guys. Look at Nate, Adrian.
Look at Nate.
Slam dunk your health with goals, with fruits and vegetables every day. There's old Nate. Got a pineapple and a basketball.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It is.
I wonder if Nate's eating much pineapple right now in Italy.
I don't know. That's a good question.
He's out there playing. Bunch of his boys went over and saw him here in the last couple of weeks.
Saw that.
Blaine Stewart went over.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that posse of guys that all hung out together in high school were on over there.
They do that every year, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
They do. Ryan Nehlen coming back, I see, huh?
Heard that.
What's that now?
Ryan Nehlen.
Really?
That's Coach's grandson.
Yes, we're aware.
Danny's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at McNeese as an assistant coach. Now he's coming back here as a analyst, as an offensive analyst for the staff.
He was a pretty good player.
Oh, yeah. Athletic as heck.
Athletic, yes.
Athletic as heck. Texter. Hello. Long time, second time. I've included a photo for my solutions to the men and women's games starting at the very same time. I also threw in an extra screen for the baseball team. So he had man's basketball left, women's basketball up right, and he had the baseball game on a computer in front of him.
Wow.
Good job, Zach.
Got a man cave.
He said, I'm also glad to learn that Hoppy's a huge race car guy like myself. We need to get some sheet metal to hang on his living room walls now.
Used to be.
Yeah. Thanks for all the entertainment. I listened to you while walking on my mail routes. Zach from Tyler County.
I did watch the end of the Daytona 500, which was...
That didn't turn out really... it was
like an 18-car wreck.
I know.
The last 10 laps finished under caution. But
first, I thought that Blaney had won it, and then the dude on the inside won, or the guy on the outside wall won that thing. Texter, 3 guys, hello from St. Albans, TC. I'm a veteran banker that wore a coat and a tie for years, but I scratch my head and wonder why it is still prevalent in network broadcasts. Your opinion, thoughts, please. Tim from St. Albans.
It looks good.
I think it looks clean. I think it looks good. I think it looks professional.
Yeah, professional is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Hey, guys, Jumpin' Jack Carlson. You remember him, don't you, Hop? Kid that worked here this summer?
Don't know him.
Checking in from Mount Vernon, Iowa. I attended Saturday's game in Ames with my academic advisor, Justice Hallam. And on the way in, we crushed some barbecue brisket pregame. Look at that picture there. Great connecting with Tony before tip-off, too. So there they are. That's his professor, academic advisor. And
There's Jack.
There's Jack at the ball game. And then I came over and, there's Jack. I was fortunate enough to be able to get him better seats.
Oh, yeah?
So he was going to sit up top across the way there, second level. Got him in the first row behind the Mountaineer bench.
Good upgrade.
You know how that works. I mean, at times, that just like last minute, hey, they happen to have 2. And Nate over at the ticket office was good enough to say, yeah, I got 2 here. And so he and his professor, I don't think that guy, what's his name?
Justice Hallam?
I think that he misidentified him, called him his academic advisor. I think he's the president of the school there at Cornell College.
Is that confirmed?
I think it's unconfirmed, but I think Justice runs the whole show from that's the feel that I got.
Really?
Yeah. I
So
think
you
he was
got
the president.
Jack hanging with the president?
Did, unconfirmed, did Jack run the video board or anything for Iowa State while he was there?
Well, I told Justice.
Because he probably could have.
So Justice was an Iowa State grad.
All due respect.
He was an Iowa State grad.
Justice was?
Yeah. Justice was. And so I said, dude, how many of these jacks you have over at Cornell College? He goes, none. He said he's a one and only. And I said, yeah, we tried to get him to stay, transfer portal. And he goes, no, man, we got to have him. There's one jack.
He's pretty good.
Don't disagree.
Yeah. Texter, I'm all in for ramp popcorn. We love ramps. Were you here for that episode, Hoppy?
Was not.
Yeah, I talked about potentially, West Virginia's known for its ramps.
Yeah, maybe.
Might be a little strong.
Little nichey.
Yeah. Yes. Very nichey.
Tony, Brad, and hopefully Hoppy. Oh, good day for you, JR. He's here. I wanted to congratulate the women's tennis team. Highest ranking ever right now. Ivan Puskovich, men's swimming, for being the first West Virginia swimmer ever to make a U.S. Olympic team. And the rifle team for another GARC title. Keep up the good work. Love watching you guys on YouTubes. JR from Cumberland. The 50th anniversary of women's basketball at WVU this past weekend had a tremendous turnout of former Mountaineers. And they honored Kitty Blakemore.
Oh,
and they did the
awesome.
The official ceremony to designate Kitty's road there near the rec center.
She was the best.
She was just, someone asked me, who's now in the department but hadn't been here previous, like, what was she like?
Oh, beloved.
This is what you just said, the best.
Yeah.
I said she was just absolutely the best. Yeah. And so great honor for Kitty, and just fantastic. Texter, hello, gentlemen. My daughter and I attended the USA Gymnastics Winter Cup in Louisville Saturday. I saw this sign. I told her I need to take a picture of it for 3 guys, and she said, who? Like a recent contributor, my daughter is also a WVU undergrad and graduate of Stetson Law School. Did you know that Stetson's undergrad and law schools are separate campuses separated by 150 miles? First I've heard of that. Unaware of that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
How do you say Louisville?
Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville. Right.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes Louisville.
Well, a long time ago, I got busted because I was saying Louisville.
That's almost.
I don't like that.
Because we shared the league with them, and at the time I was in the department, I tried to be respectful of how you say it, Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville.
Yeah.
Unlike Central Florida now, where you
Now
call
I'm
it
not in the
Central
league
Florida.
Well, not in the league with them now, so I'll just say Louisville.
Yeah.
Like you got to say, you got to be careful. Of course, Nevada's not in the league yet, but one of these days they will be. You got to be careful there too.
Yeah. Texter says 11.
It's not Nevada.
No.
It's
Not,
Ada.
we know that. We
It's
don't
Vada.
play bowl games.
It's Vada.
Nevada.
11 fouls called in the first 8 minutes last night. Typical Big 12 officiating where they want to control the game. Yeah. And the stuff came off the rails, didn't it? Texter, Grayson in Hilltop. Question for stats. Is there any other college team with a lower scoring percentage from 2 feet in front of the rim?
I don't know. I'll tell you this. I have West Virginia within 4.5 feet of the rim.
What do they shoot?
That's impressive.
61%. National average, 61.9.
No, so you're there.
So they're less than 1% off.
You're right there.
The national average. So to answer your question, is there a collegiate team with a lower? Probably yes, because they're right about the national average from inside of 4.5 feet, which is considered at the rim.
Impressive you had that right there.
Speaking of analytics.
Pretty strong.
Speaking of analytics.
Yeah.
Our boy, Coach Spiker.
I watched him last night.
Over at Drexel.
Yeah.
He's on his way toward 20 wins.
Should be.
Got picked up 18th last night, I think.
Yeah.
He likes the analytics.
They beat the Blue Hens.
Yeah. That's a rivalry. Drexel, Delaware's big rivalry.
I think he beat them pretty good.
10. Lined up.
Beat them 10.
Slow start by the Dragons. They came back too.
Yeah.
Down 9 at one point.
He's got Stony Brook next.
Yeah.
He seemed, I was watching.
He'll line up and give you a good at the rim stat here and there.
Who?
Coach Spiker.
Well, he's got Amari Williams in front of the 10.
No, I'm just saying he'll get into a nice analytic discussion with you.
Oh,
Sometimes bring Duff, one of his assistants, in there. You can have a nice analytic breakdown with him.
Wasn't Duff up in Wheeling?
Was.
He's a stat guy, like an analytical genius, like Rain Man, Superman, right?
He heavily watches those stats.
Mm-hmm. He looks like a Duff.
Spend time in staff meetings breaking down the numbers, Hop. Glean a lot of information out of those.
Texter, love the grit showed by our guys against K-State, caught back up. Proud to see that, Paul and Philly. Texter, This team doesn't quit, but they shot themselves in the foot late. Got to make free throws. Not sure where he will be next year, but Coach Eilert should be a head coach somewhere.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is the frickin' script in front of you?
Yeah, it is.
This team could have quit so many times this year, but they keep grinding. Signed by Periopolis Phil. Oh, look. Now there's a series of hashtags underneath the text, which means that's the end of the text. Would you like to go, Junior? You must have been a deal in elementary school, huh?
I'm out of practice. I haven't been.
You got something to say. You can say it.
Well, I'm just going to say, again, HOO.
Well, let me say that.
Obvious observations is that it takes a lot of gas to fight your way back, and it's hard, Brad, to have those legs and make those free throws.
And there weren't a lot of substitutions late there, right? I mean, those guys were grinding.
There, yeah.
Yes, that's hard. That's tough.
You done now, Hop?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, you shouldn't have broke. You should have just sat there.
Texter says this season has been like a colonoscopy, but they forgot the anesthesia and the camera broke, so they're using a 17th century telescope instead. Whew!
That's harsh.
That'll wake you up. P1 James in Charleston. Heartbreaking loss. We have to acknowledge that Edwards is a liability late in the game. Fouling him is the same as a turnover. Also, why no timeout on the last possession? Got to question that coaching decision. This season has been painful.
There's always...
Didn't have a timeout.
I didn't think he did either.
I don't know what last shot he was talking about.
If he's talking about the last possession, there was no timeout.
Correct. Regulation, or that you're talking about overtime, or you're talking about regulation?
There wasn't in overtime, right? There was not? I don't think.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was the last
regulation.
possession.
They called the timeout, right? Because they came out of a timeout and ran that set, which led to was it a Slazinski shot? And then the follow-up by Jesse that they didn't call the foul on? Am I correct? I'm looking at the play-by. I'm looking at the K-State called timeout at 51. West Virginia may have been out at that point.
They were.
Yeah, they were out.
They didn't have one, so it helped them
play
defense.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. I'll let everyone else talk about the games. I'm more intrigued by Tony's story regarding saying stuff about a referee while he was standing right at the scorer's table. It reminds me of Lou Piniella wanting to scream at the umpire, but instead he just screamed at his own coach, saying all the stuff he wanted to say to the umpire, thinking the ump wouldn't notice. Ump figured it out pretty quickly, threw him out. That's my second favorite ejection. Bobby Valentine got tossed, went back in the dugout with a fake mustache, got tossed again when they spotted him. Fun fact. Pat Mahomes got the win for the game for the Mets. Love the show.
It'd be the elder Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. He said the best screen the entire game last night was Edwards against Creasa. They ran into each other. No, did you see the one on TV of JoJo Harris?
I think that was Sumnick.
Oh, flattened Tyler Perry at
Yeah, I
midcourt?
think it was Sumnick.
Yeah.
But yeah, he flattened him.
He took care of it. Yeah. Philip from Philippi just reaching out to say, I love how our boys continue to fight. It seems as if they're starting to gel, excited for all the for next season's food court.
He says for the all-season food court, which you've tried to announce. I think you announced it through basketball season even.
Yeah, I thought he was getting ahead of the food court for the fall, just like Hoppy was trying to get ahead for the Christmas decoration. Jumped it a little early.
I just had an idea. No such thing as a bad idea, and I thought it was a pretty good idea.
Hey, maybe, you know what we could do?
What?
Maybe three guys can have a Christmas in July special. What do you think?
That's never been done. We should try that.
We get Dave on that one. Maybe we could do a three guys Christmas in July.
Okay, no more ideas on the show because that's two that actually aren't bad. Yeah. Stop now. Having a Kansas State-like shooting first half here. Water will find its level in the second.
Hey,
I know. Let's have you three guys socks.
I'll embarrass myself here. It won't be the first time, nor the last. But what's the thing at Iowa State games, Brad? They put a student, like they designate a student right before the game starts, and she whines this siren. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
No, you've been to about 12 times more Iowa State games in your life than I have.
You live 40 minutes away.
She's
once.
in the band. She's in the band, and she's winding
Yeah,
the
it's
siren.
a designated student, I think. So is that what type of siren is that?
That looks like a...
Is that a tornado? Is that what is that?
Like an old school...
Yeah, old school. Like
storm...
It would be the pencil sharpener version of a siren.
Because she's cranking it.
She's cranking the heck out of it. It makes a great noise. They got a microphone like right on that thing and just lights that whole building up. I love it. I also can't wait for WVU, and I don't know how far away this is. And I shouldn't say it because then they want to...
Here we go.
But, when the lights come off and on in the arenas now, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, a lot of them are doing that now. DJ, Monroe County. When we look back 10 years from now, we'll be able to say this: the transfer portal, the death of West Virginia's football and basketball programs. Maybe so. My biggest frustration is not getting to know and feel like we have a relationship with our players, because at the current rate, that's impossible. Instead of feeling like family, it feels like getting a player on a 1-year deal and then they're gone. I feel better about the football program, but the basketball program is sounding a serious alarm. Be blessed. DJ from Monroe County. There is no question that collegiate sports teams are in this massive period of transition, and it is all going to change, and it is all unfortunate.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be a new.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be a new.
Eric Stevenson was an okay transfer.
Right. I mean, I get it.
But what's the other side of that? You wish you had him more.
Okay, I wish I had Will Greer more. Pat White was here 4 years. Wish I had him more.
Well,
This is what it is.
4 is better than 2, and 2 is better
my
than
point,
1.
It's not all awful.
I didn't say it was.
No, DJ did.
Oh, DJ.
So don't get all defensive. You want to get defensive and fight, I'll fight with you. But I wasn't attacking you.
I wasn't
was saying it to
fighting.
DJ.
I was making a
So you
point.
immediately bowed up. You haven't been here in 9 weeks. You immediately want to bow up. So if you want to go, we'll go.
Yeah, rip his ass.
I think now the vote's 2-0.
Hey, by the way, really glad you came.
Come at me with that snarky attitude.
Well, he's down that legislative session. That's how they all roll down there. It's all
That's fine. I mean, I'm all for it. He wants to, we can.
fight like cats and dogs.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. You want to go, we'll go.
You taking
Man,
him?
your trigger's pretty.
Well, you started it.
You taking him to conference?
Told you, I don't start- I'll
He's taking you
finish
to. He's taking you to conference committee.
Out there running your mouth.
Crossover day. Woo! HB 62, 62, 62. Hut, one.
That's tomorrow, crossover day. Big
Is
day.
it?
Yeah. Nice crossover day reference. Which is actually a big day.
I understand that it is. We wish them the best in crossing over.
But don't open your presents tonight.
Saw some interesting legislation going on there about travel teams and things like that.
Yes, that's hot.
Yeah,
Don't start.
that's
What do you got on that?
well, it's certainly a very important topic with what else is going on in our state. Travel teams are really a big, important deal.
I hear you.
Yeah.
There's been a void this session, so it's been filled by a lot of stuff like that.
I mean, maybe fix the roads first, but I'm not a political guy, so I don't know what's... Travel ball's certainly probably a priority.
Why don't we work on, if we went through that steel door right over there and go in that alley, why don't we work on that a little bit?
Yeah, I hear you.
One of the things we
We're going to
like...
put travel basketball at the same time as your high school basketball?
Pardon me?
We're going to put travel ball at the same time as your high school basketball?
I don't know a lot about that issue, but what I do know about it, it seems like a very bad idea.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, what you can see where the conflicts are going to come. First of all, how about load management for the kid and the parents? Okay, now you're going to play on 2 teams. Number 1. Number 2 is what happens if there is a conflict.
Not what happens if there's a conflict. What happens when the conflict arises? Because there will be conflicts arise, even if they're not happening. Those will be filled in immediately. There will be conflicts.
And the third thing is it broken? Is anybody? Again, you guys maybe follow it more closely than I do. Is it broken?
Youth sports is broken.
Okay, but is it broken to the point where we got to
But
make
this
sure
isn't in my opinion, this isn't the fix to make it unbroken.
They changed it. They were part of the bill was going to say that the same coach could coach the travel team as the high school team.
At the same time.
At the same time, which meant a coach could theoretically be coaching the kids from the other team that they had to play. They did take that out, but still, I don't think that's going to make it through. But we'll see.
Crossover days tomorrow, I hear. We're cheering for those kids.
Keep an eye on it.
So one of the things, in all seriousness, that we like to do and have done, have had the opportunity to do on Three Guys, is to help various causes and use our brand to do that. And here is one that I've mentioned in the past. And here's a little bit more on this. So if you go to our website, episode800.com, you'll see Hope t-shirts. So here is the long and the short of it is this. So when you hear someone has cancer, you oftentimes don't equate that to, in West Virginia, less than 8% of the people that are cancer survivors or dealing with cancer consume the daily recommended servings of fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
There's food scarcity for the cancer patient and oftentimes he or she's family. So in West Virginia, there's a program called Mountains of Hope, land grant mission at WVU. And in essence, this is all put together by WVU's Cancer Institute, and they launched Growing Hope, which is aimed at producing food and meals to cancer patients and their families. So we're going to get behind this. And the goal is to bring together community organizations and cancer care facilities to take care of people that have food inequities among the patients. So Growing Hope started in 2022, pilot project at Mary Bab Randolph Cancer Center, CAMC, a cancer center in Charleston as well. So close to us in Morgantown, Homestead Farm Center, Taylor County, grows the fruits and vegetables on a farm. And they do that by giving opportunities for employment for individuals with disabilities. So since 2022, the Cancer Institute and Growing Hope have provided close to 200 nutritious meals and produce grown for 143 patients and their families, 32 different counties in West Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. So after the initial investment, it costs about $3,500 a year to produce fresh produce and healthy meal kits to about 100 families. That's really inexpensive. 100 families can benefit from a $3,500 deal. So I'm just telling you that. I'm not selling you anything right now. I'm just telling you I'm going to come back to you later. And we're going to do something to fund their program and just say, hey, let's do this. And their money goes to those folks. And folks that are dealing with all of that will have fresh, nutritious food. And we'll do that. Very passionate people that are working on that program. When we look back, okay, I already read that.
Can I give you the West Virginia connection thing?
Sure.
So this is in the Washington Post a couple weeks ago, and I had this clip I wanted to tell you guys. 1864, March 1864, there is a fight that occurs near Beverly Ford, Virginia. And the fight is between Moses Robinette and John Alexander. Okay? And Robinette stabs Alexander. Robinette is convicted of attempted murder, and he's incarcerated. He later gets a pardon from Abraham Lincoln. Robinette was President Biden's great-great-grandfather. So President Biden's great-great-grandfather was pardoned by Abraham Lincoln. And Robinette, who received the pardon, was from Grafton, West Virginia.
Holy potato salad.
Which at the time was Grafton, Virginia, 1861. 1861 was when he was working at the railroad there in Grafton.
I was going to say great train town.
Great train town, yeah. So anyway, there's a big story in the Washington Post. Lincoln pardons Biden's great-great-grandfather, Grafton, West Virginia.
Of course he was.
Well, that Robinette name's still around in the state of West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Mountaineer football player, Greg Robinette, remember?
Yeah.
Nose guard.
So always a connection.
Always.
DJ DJ Monroe County was bemoaning the fact that the world has changed in college sports, right?
Yeah.
So I was walking. We stayed in Aggieville in Manhattan. We stayed in Aggieville. That's their main drag right on campus. That's where we stayed. And these two signs caught
why is it called that? Because they have the big sign up out there? What is that?
Agricultural school.
Oh, excuse me.
Hey, Austin, put up those K-State signs. This is on their street signs in their main drag. Wildcat NIL. CatsNIL.com. They're just right there. There's another one. You go down the streets. They're just like, we need your support. Go to the website. Give us money for NIL. Kansas and Kansas State's football coaches, right?
Yeah.
Are coming together, doing a joint thing, like two bitter rivals. They're coming together, and they're going to have like this media event, or they're going to have a public event to raise funds. The two coaches want to speak to both fan bases to tell them how important it is to support NIL.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's kind of like, big time rivals, but like, hey, we need, in the state of Kansas, we need to support our college athletics.
That's
pretty wild.
That
came out last week.
Pretty unheard of.
Yeah.
In a world where you're just feeding on whoever you can.
Right. So you go down to Charleston today?
Tonight, I got some things to do, and I'll go down.
Stopping at GoMart?
Oh, yeah. Probably twice.
Awesome. If you would.
I sent you the picture.
I know, you always do. I mean, you're good about that. We don't see you, but you're pretty good with the pictures.
I'll let you know.
Talk to anybody?
No.
They don't recognize you.
Well, I don't go in and go, hey, it's Tony Caridi.
Yeah, don't do that.
Hey, real quick shout out. We mentioned it at the end of last show. Anthony Rizzo. We got a text that there was a package upstairs from Anthony Rizzo.
Oh, man, I'm glad. God,
so we knew there was a package. We didn't know what it was.
Oh, Riz.
Hop, sorry.
What is it?
So a little more information. It was a tin.
Why'd you hold this back until now?
Of chocolate peanut butter.
Oh, my God.
Why? Are we not still on the air?
Yeah, but...
Hey, watch what you say. This is live.
Oh, we're still doing the show. Thought it was appropriate to bring it up now.
Hey, Hoppy.
Thought I'd lead with the Kansas State game instead of Rizzo's peanut butter balls. Although the peanut butter balls were elite.
Do they call those Buckeyes, or
here's the his mom makes those.
Right.
But she only makes them in the winter.
Huh?
Apparently, there's a chocolate consistency issue if you make them in the summer.
She's got
spring,
humidity
or fall.
she's dealing with.
So she does them in the winter.
Boy, were they 24? I believe they were 24. Did not last the day.
Really?
Gone.
Like Buckeyes?
So full disclosure, I get on him when he doesn't bring stuff out. I had no interest in waiting for you.
I
had no interest. Sorry.
I get it. Hoppy who?
The Buckeyes, we used to call them Buckeyes, but that was because
they had
they wouldn't cover them completely in chocolate. They looked like an actual Buckeye.
Correct.
These were completely covered.
Yeah.
Anthony Rizzo's mom.
So
thank you.
Peanut butter balls, chocolate peanut butter balls.
Chocolate peanut butter balls.
They were
elite.
Tremendous.
Oh, those are good.
Tremendous.
And you can't, I mean, it's
Sorry. And they specifically said they were for all three of us. They wanted to include you in that.
Well, I appreciate
And I also told Anthony, sorry, he wasn't here. I don't know where he is. I don't know when he's coming back. I'm not waiting.
So, we ate.
I get it.
We ate them for you.
No, I
shared them all over the building. Brought them up to the girls upstairs.
I mean, I wasn't
Jennifer,
here, so
Regina,
I don't blame you.
Carrie.
I don't expect you to set them aside like, oh, I'm a Hoppy, but no, I get it.
No, you get nothing, and you'll like it.
couldn't wait.
I mean, I get it. I definitely am getting a vibe from this show.
No, I'm thrilled you're back. I, for one, am glad you're back.
Thank you. Because a little bit of
I just wanted to be honest with you that I ate your...
I appreciate your candor.
Mrs. Rizzo's
your
chocolate
honesty.
peanut butter balls. Didn't wait for you.
So I got a definite cold shoulder from the far side over there.
Listen, I'm glad you came back just so I could... This is what you should play. You should walk into GoMart with a boombox, and it just goes like this.
Hoppy.
And then you just go.
Yeah, you know what?
And you just bust in.
You're going to get like, hello, 911? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a...
But you can talk to people, though, if they come up.
He does. He's
I
very
just
friendly.
talked to Joe at Dick's over the weekend. He came up, big listener.
Is he still listening?
Yeah.
Listen.
They're still listening. He's very nice.
You're very friendly.
I'm at the
customer service, by the way.
I talk to everybody at the legislature.
Really?
And lots of times on the air. I mean, I'll be sitting there and people come and go, are you on the air?
I know
yes.
they do that.
I talk to everybody. I am not as unfriendly as I'm portrayed
No, I
to
think
be.
you shed that title by your performance at the food court last fall. On the second court, you held court. And in fact, when the police finally had to ask you to leave, I thought it was a bit much.
I think it was that blue drink kind of loosened me up, whatever that was.
Oh, yeah, that's when Chuck brought you.
Yeah, Chuck brought me.
So Chuck brought you.
So that's when Duca was over there from the wine bar mixing drinks, right?
Duca was there, and Hoppy had a couple of those blue ones, and he was like, I'm staying here.
Why are we closing so early?
You want to go somewhere else?
Yeah, where's the next stop? Like college. Where are we going next?
Chuck took him by the. Come on, let's get in here. Yeah.
Thank goodness for Chuck.
Yeah. Chuck's
So, maybe on the next round of the treats, you will.
The session's going to be over in next week.
Okay, there you go.
Next week, but we got the 2 tournaments coming up.
Yeah.
Girls and boys.
MEC
Are you
as well.
there? Are
3
you there?
really. Mountain East Conference coming up as
Mountain
well.
East, yeah.
I'm doing the boys.
Boys tournament.
Yeah, I'm doing at the end. I'm doing the boys.
Oh, you coming in late? Coming in at the end?
Go.
Same.
Yeah.
Because I've got MEC. Well, I've got MEC, so I can't do the girls. I'd love to do the girls.
I've got
MEC.
Mountaineers aren't done. The girls
They're
are
at the
going
same
on
time.
during the Mountaineers
MEC
last week.
and girls tournament are at the same time this
next
year.
week.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's the MEC? Wheeling?
Wheeling.
Well, sure.
Great tournament.
Yeah, wonderful.
How about the Super 6?
Wonderful basketball.
It moved to Charleston.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, first reported by you.
Oh, I screwed that up.
You did not screw it up.
I kind of did.
You didn't.
I kind of did.
No, you first reported it.
No, I did. I didn't.
Wait a second.
It's like
Wait, time out.
Okay.
You said it's coming to Charleston, right? It was about 11:49. By 12:02, it was officially released. It was going to Charleston. So where did you screw up?
Well, that's like saying that I'm trying to think of a good analogy. I can't, because it had not been announced, and what I thought was being announced, I was wrong about. So it was kind of an awkward moment. Don't like being wrong like that.
You weren't wrong. How were you wrong if you said it right?
Well,
it was the correct information. You didn't say it was going to be in China, and all of a sudden they came out and said, well, no, actually, Hoppy, it's going to be in Charleston.
That's 2026. It's going to be in Beijing.
I mean, so what did you screw up? I mean, you co-sold the thing. I first reported that story
No, there's a whole long. It's not worth getting into. It's not worth getting into. It's just
I got it.
I had a little bit of the cart before the horse on that.
All right. Really glad you came. See you in July. See you in July.
We doing any more of these?
This might be the last
Eric
one.
Stevenson's been here more nights.
we should just call it. Done.
Was this it?
Is this the last one?
Things are going to get busy. Spring ball's coming up pretty soon.
That'll be great. I want to get settled in, but then, well, never mind.
That's wonderful that he just said. Isn't that wonderful how he just said that? He said, "Yeah, I want to come in. I want to settle in." And then what's he come back with like after that? Well, session's over now. Hey, did I tell you I'm going to be gone for a week? 2 weeks. We're gone for 2 weeks. We want you to settle, Hoppy. We want you to stay. It's you that continues to break the dates.
Fair point.
I mean, Brad and I are here.
That's a fair point.
I mean, we come. We're here.
Brad texted me last night. We were texting back and forth, and Brad says, I got to go to Three Guys. And I thought, you going at 11:30 last night? I thought you were going last night.
Yeah, I'm going last night.
I didn't put the AM, PM, or Central or Eastern. Hoppy was all confused.
I was confused. I thought, now they're just like scheduling it at times I can't be there. Just on purpose.
Hey, Hop, listen. Hey, Hoppy, listen.
Yeah.
We're gonna do our next show, Hoppy.
Yeah.
At from 10:06 until about noon. Hope you can make it.
I'm getting the message. I get the drift.
No, we love you.
No, I'm not.
We like it when you're here. It's better when you're here.
Yeah, it's Three Guys.
Thank you.
Before the game. Three Guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By GoMart. Go for good times. Go for GoMart. Please do sign up for that rewards card and save on your fuel and your food. Plus, I think they got these industrial strength drums. Like, how much is in a drum?
Of what? 55 gallons.
55. Think washer fluid now. I think you can go get one of them drums of washer fluid.
Do they? Because I need some.
Yeah, I think they got that. Go, just ask more. Three Guys brought to us by Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. Take advantage of our Three Guys special, and they are the place. James Bond.
There it is.
All the James Bond movies.
Sweet.
They provide the pontoons, and there's our special right now. Can't wait to get out on that thing. It's got 3 tunes. That's a tri-tune.
Nice.
And Spreads on Stats brought to us by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond the numbers. Our producer, Austin Wright, will return on Thursday to preview.
I won't be here.
Stunner, West Virginia, and the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. WVU women also play home on Saturday. All right, we be done.
You can wait till Friday if you want.
Nah, we're good. Thank you.